1 minute to go. Now please welcome the judoka, Prix.
Good morning and welcome back to Almada in Portugal. We're about to get underway with the second and final day of competition at this year's IBSA Grand Prix. We had this is part of the IJF World Tour. So day 2 then of competition. The two categories are J1 and J2. J1 is blind or almost completely blind, and J2 is partially sighted. We're going to begin by watching the under 57 kilo category, J1. So these are blind or almost totally blind. And there is a process, a format for bringing the judoka to the tatami. Coaches accompany them to the middle with the referee, and the referee then accompanies them to the middle of the tatami. They take up their respective start positions. They bow, they're instructed to take kumikata, they take the grip, and then once the referee is happy, they get underway. Hajime has been called, and we're underway with the first of the quarterfinals. Priscilla Gagne of Canada is up against Dondu Yesilyurt of Turkey. Gagne in the white judogi, Yesilyurt in blue. The referee just wants them to be standing nice and square on, with a grip that doesn't give one or other the advantage, and then she'll call Hajime, what she does now. It's Elizabeth Gonzalez in the middle there. Gagne tries a right-sided makikomi. She loses contact with the hands, but Yesilyurt is close enough to follow her to the tatami and begins to work on attempting to turn her over. It isn't working out, so the referee calls mate, stands the pair up. And just make sure they get back to their respective start positions. They can tidy their gis up at the same time. It's a bit of working out to be done, even for the referees as well, when they are so accustomed to just calling Hajime, but they've got to remember to get the athletes to grip up. They also have to remember to say where they are. That is, the referee calls out jogai, and that gives the athletes an indication of where the referee is, because they're supposed to stay for as much as possible in the middle to let them know, let the athletes know where the middle is. Anyway, once again they went to ground and there was nothing happening, so the referee called mate. They're back up on their feet. Gonzalez is bringing them back into the middle. Just making sure that they grip up again. Yesilyurt wants to start with the right foot slightly further in advance, and the referee's not keen on that. Just wants her to straighten up. They're underway again. 2 minutes. Just a little over 2 minutes. That's a good makikomi from Yesilyurt on the right side and catches Gagne. And the score on the board now, Wazari. A nice right-sided makikomi from Yesil Yurt. Minute 47 left on the clock. The referee just asking them to take the kumikata. They do. Hajime has been called and we're underway. Move to the far right corner. There's another makikomi effort from Yesil Yurt. It's not quite as strong, not as threatening. And you're able to avoid going over. She attempts to follow it up in Newaza, the Canadian, but nothing develops, so the referee calls mate. Back up on their feet, brought to the middle of the tatami now. And take their grips again, and then once they're ready, Hajime is called with 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. But there is now still Yesil Yurt leads by the Wazari. Minute to go. She thought about another makikomi, and it was Gagne who was attempting a Tani Otoshi counter, but that failed. They lost contact with each other, and the referee called mate. Gagne's got to come up with an attack here. Time is ticking away, 30-odd seconds left to go. Yesil Yurt, remember, with the score on the board. Big left arm over the back now from Gagne. It's a good position if she can make something happen on the left side. She hasn't been able to come up with an attack. And the referee's called mate. She'll bring them back to the middle of the mat. I'm just thinking what it could be. Possibly Yesil Yurt a little bit overly defensive. Yeah, she may pick up the penalty. Not going to make a great deal of difference now with 18 seconds left to go. Gagne it is who's got to come up with a score. The referee calls Hajime, and we're back underway. Very little time left. Really needed a big attack. Well, it was the Uchimata and then a little Koujigari from Gagne, but during that action, the athletes lost contact with each other. The referee called mate, brought them back to the middle. 5 seconds left to go. We're ready to start. Here we go, Hajime. Makikomi from Gagne, but it's ineffective. Yesil Yurt quickly onto the back of Gagne. It looked as though she was going to attempt a shimiwaza, but time was called. The buzzer went. Soromare was called by the referee, and it is Dondu Yesil Yurt of Turkey who wins out over Priscilla Gagne of Canada. We'll see Gagne again, but it will be in the repechage contest. Yesil Yurt into the first of the semi-finals.
Yesil goes to the semi-final. Gagne of Canada in the repechage.
Right, coming up next on mat number 3, J1 in the under 57 kilo category, Liana Mutia of the United States of America goes up against Maria Manzanero of Spain. It'll be Mutia in the white judogi, Manzanero in blue. Nazim Umbayev is the referee, just escorting the two athletes to the middle. I won't keep going on about exactly what he has to do or what the referee has to do. Those of you at home who are listening are aware of that now. Straight into the attack, Mutia. Marote Seanagi, as she brings Manzanero down onto a side for Wazari. An immediate attack. Yeah. As soon as the referee called Hajime, Mutia was turning away from her opponent, just bending at the knees. The Marote action on the top. And again, she tries the same again, but this time there is not a score. They do go to the ground. Manzanero attempts to work in near Waza, but it's not going anywhere, so the referee calls mate. 3:29 left on the clock. They're back up on their feet in the middle. The referee asks them to take the kumikata, which they do now. And Hajime is called. Again, the American Mutia comes in quickly for the Marote Seonagi. Low right side in, drives off the feet to bring Manzanero over her shoulder and on to her back. The two athletes tidy up. The referee gives the decision indicating that Mutia has one out there. And then they take hold of the referee's arm as he guides them off the contest area to the safety area. And their respective coaches can then escort them off the tatami. So Mutia will go up against Yesil Yurt in the first of the semi-finals. Manzanero will face Ganya in the first of the repechage contests. Right, coming up next, the next of the quarterfinals, Asia Giordano of Italy goes up against Christina Moat of Canada. It'll be Giordano in the white judogi, Moat in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Vitali, beg your pardon, Vitali Sulima of Ukraine. They're underway. I had a brief chat with Christina Moat this morning. She just come away from warming up. Quite nervous. They wandered off the competition area, so the referee calls mate. We'll bring them back to the middle now. This happened on the adjoining mat at 2. Oh, mat 1, beg your pardon. I still can't work out which mat is which after 5 days. Moat just trying to maneuver her opponent into a position where she can throw. The referee's called mate. There was an action there, but they won't be a score. The referee had already called mate. back to the middle of the mat. They are instructed to take their grips, and once they have that, the referee will call. Actually, he does now. 3:20 odd left on the clock. These two athletes like to use the full area of the mat. They've wandered off again. That's why that instruction about where the referee is so key, so that they don't wander off too quickly. Hajime is called. Giordano has a reasonably strong grip, but it's this inability to know exactly how far to move, and they are a bit liberal with the competition area at the moment. Giordano and Moat, both inadvertently wandering off a little bit too much, and it's Giordano who picks up the penalty for wandering off the competition area. Well, one or other of them wasn't that keen on giving a penalty, but it's been given anyway. Moat, with both hands on one side, needs to attack, and she does with a makikomi, but she's countered, and that's a good counter from Giordano. I like that for a score. I really think that they might have a look at that. Christina Moat was attempting a turnover on the ground, but it wasn't going anywhere, and they've called mate. The referee's bringing them back to the middle. We'll see if there's any pause in the action. I like that for a score. I wonder why that didn't score. They have gone on completely. Big Osotogari, good counter. Zari, it could have been Ippon. Anyway, they're in the Osaikomi now, and I don't think Moat is going to get out of that. Big right-sided Osotogari countered by Asia Giordano, and that's enough to take her into the next round. Here's the counter. Yeah, Wazari, good call. I was just wondering, Philip, if we can see that earlier action. Yeah, there is no doubt there's a landing, but what is the technique? There's no technique from Giordano. Can we? Oh, we can't keep that. All right. Right. I don't like to do this, but I am going to take a little, just a second. There won't be commentary for a second.
Tatami 3, next quarterfinal, J1, women under 57 kilos. In blue judo, representing Republic of Moldova, Ina Tserney. In white judo, representing Ukraine, Angela Gavrisyuk. Coming to the winner of the quarterfinal in white judo representing France, Priscilla Lézé. Lézé goes to the semi-final. Davis of USA in the repechage.
Right, sorry about that. It's just that I wanted to make sure that Giordano understood exactly why we didn't give a score for that first action, and there was no technique involved on her part. Not even the teiwaza, could we say, that we could give a score for. In the meantime, Anzela Havrysiuk of Ukraine has won her contest against Ina Cherney of Moldova, getting her opponent into Osaikomi and winning after 2 minutes and 47 seconds. So she goes into the semi-final. She'll face Asia Giordano in that second semi-final. So we've got the lineup, by the way, for that category, and I'll give you the lineup after I've filled in the sheets, because I don't normally do this. It's back to the old-fashioned and filling out. Haven't done this for a while. Right, the second of the repechage contest is what I'm looking for. Who lost the first one? It was Moat of Canada, wasn't it? Yeah. Right. So here's the lineup in the J1 under 57 kilo category. The first of the semi-finals will feature Dondu Yesilyurt of Turkey. She will go up against Liana Mutia of the United States of America. And in the second semi-final, it will be it will be Asia Giordano of Italy to go up against Angela Havrysiuk of Ukraine. Gagne and Manzanero will be in the first of the repechage contest. The second repechage contest is Moat and Cerney. Right, in the meantime, who have we got coming up here? Johan Basok of Moldova should be going up against Romuald Rabouteur of France. Basok in the white judogi, Batur in blue. Okay. John Ramakas is accompanying the athletes out to the tatami. He's the referee. And we should be underway shortly. He just asks the athletes to bow. Ray, that's done. They step forward, take kumikata. And we're underway. Quarterfinal J1 in the does it say plus there? I've got plus, I haven't got it here. Just make sure I've got the, oh, yes I have. I'd put it in the wrong place. Romuald Rabouteur of France has just thrown Jon Basok of Moldova for Ippon. Let's just see what that action was. Left Morote Seonagi dropped underneath his opponent, dropped on both knees, and over went Basok. So Raboteur into the first of the semi-finals. He will face Willens de Araujo of Brazil. At least you get a bit of time to introduce the athletes. They're not racing around and on top of you very, very quickly. So that's one good thing, because I can catch up now. Onur Tastan of Turkey goes up against Yerlan Utipov of Kazakhstan. It'll be Tastan in the white judogi, Utipov in blue.
Men over 90 kilograms. In blue judogi representing Kazakhstan, Yerlan Utipov. In white judogi representing Turkey, Onur Tastan.
Right, this is in the plus 90 kilo category. J1. Athletes are in the middle now, just about to take their grips. Tastan just a little bit shorter, maybe a head shorter than Utipov. Utipov, a tall and leggy fighter. Nice Ashiwaza attempt, right-sided from Onur Tastan as he brings Utipov down onto his front, but not quite able to come up with a score. With the feel of Sasai Tsurikomiyashi about that one. Not quite able to plant the support leg in the right place to give him the impetus to get his opponent turned over. Utipov searching for a grip over on one side. He's got his right hand back in the more conventional lapel grip. Left hand on the sleeve, right hand on the lapel, as has Tastan, as they maneuver into position from which to launch an attack. Tastan changes attack and goes over the back with the left hand. Utipov attempts a Sutemiwaza that puts him on his back and has Utipov trapping the leg to make sure that no osaikomi can be given. Utipov just being guided back to the middle of the mat. Now they grip up. Just making sure that the grips don't have an advantage for one over the other. The referee now calls Hajime. 2:40 odd left to go. Utipov looking to attack right-sided, and again Tastan with some Ashiwa. So this time I think it was Hizagaruma, really. And it brought Utipov down onto his front. Utipov a little bit slow to get to his feet. He is now, and he's back to the middle where the referee is just making sure that they take the kumikata. Utipov picks up a penalty for passivity. The referee having both arms out in front of them, just rolling one over the other to indicate that the passivity has been given. Utipov now with a penalty against his name. 2.5 minutes left to go. We're back underway. Tastan trying to go over the back with the big grip, the big left arm. But Utipov just collapsed. Let's see if he'll try that again. This time it's Utipov who's searching with the right arm to see if he can find something different. He breaks off with the left arm, tries the left-sided makikomi, but it's a weak effort, and Tastan just uses his left hand to push Utipov away from him, and Utipov lands face down on his front, and the referee calls mate. There's a little under 2 minutes left to go. Tastan looks a little bit more dangerous. Utipov attempted the Sotemiwaza, he missed, and now Tastan is on top as Utipov defends on his back. But he's trapped the leg. He's trapped Tastan's leg. And that's not going anywhere, and the referee calls mate. We've got 1 minute and 37 seconds left on the clock. The referee brings both fighters back to the middle. Utipov is going to need to step things up a little bit here. He's picked up 1 penalty. He hasn't really done a great deal of attacking. 1:37 left on the clock. The referee calls Hajime. Utipov looking to go over on the right side, possibly with makikomi. He changes it, and he's back to the standard grip of left hand on the right sleeve, right hand on the left lapel of his opponent Tastan, who's got a similar grip. Utipov just sticks out a right leg once in a while and has a little stab at an Ashiwaza, but without really being that serious. 1 minute left to go. He breaks off with the right arm, looks to change grips, wants to go up and around the collar, but can't come up with an attack. Still searching for where to put the right hand, Utipov. Tastan looks a little bit passive to me. At least Utipov is searching for something, but he really hasn't done anything. Called mate. And then, as I say that, he attempts the left-sided makikomi and comes up with a score. He's going to secure the osaikomi as well. Kazuri Yoko Shiogatami. Utipov kind of fell in to that, wasn't able to avoid getting caught. So Wazari from the makikomi, and then Kazuri Yoko Shiogatami followed up by Onur Tastan of Turkey, and that puts Tastan in the second of the semi-finals. So the semi-final lineup is Willens de Araujo of Brazil. He'll go up against Romuald Rabuteur of France, and it will be Jason Grand Prix of France to face Onur Tastan of Turkey. That's the semi-final lineup. When we've got the bronze medal contests, who's going to take part in the bronze medal contest, I'll let you know, but we'll have to have the semi-finals first. Right, J1. Let's see what else we've got here. This is in the under 70 kilo category, J1. Probably the only weights that we've got, actually, those three. Right. Nicolina Perenheim of Sweden goes up against Matilde Laura of Italy. It's Perenheim in the white judogi, Laura in blue. Athletes are in the middle. The referee's just getting them ready now. We've had the bow, Ray, and now we're underway. Makikomi from Pernheim catches Lauria for Wazari. Tati Shiogatami now from Pernheim. She's just got to keep the head down. Lauria struggling to try and get free, but there's only 10 seconds needed. Right-sided Makikomi. It was a good technique from the Swedish fighter. She wins out there. We'll see Lauria again when she goes up against Brenda Souza de Freitas. Celebrations just off the mat there for Pernheim after her win. Right, coming up next, the first of the semi-finals in the under 57 kilo category. Dondu Yesilyurt of Turkey goes up against Liana Mutia of the United States of America. Mutia was impressive in her quarterfinal win. And she looks like a useful little thrower. She's brought out to join the referee. Ed Liddy, it is, who accompanied her out. He's the US coach. Long time a stalwart of the US coaching staff and a former very successful competitor himself. Yesilyurt in the white judogi, Mutia in blue. The athletes face up now. The referee calls Hajime. Mutia straight into the Morote Seoinage. Just didn't get the turn, the lower half of the body. She scored like that in her quarterfinal. This happened on the adjoining mat. Nice big Ojigari. So the athletes come back to the middle. The referee calls them forward for the kumikata. And now Mutia attempts again the Morote Seoinage. She can work on the ground now because the attack failed and Yesil-Yurt went onto her front. Just want to make sure that Yesil-Yurt stands correctly in the start position. She's got a habit of just stepping forward with the right foot. She's even further away now, so it makes it harder for Mutia to bring off that technique. Hedledi's up on his feet, pointing that out. Mutia attempts the Morote-Seoinage again. It fails, and Yesil-Yurt this time, I'm sure, will pick up a penalty for passivity. She really hasn't put in an attack at all. The referee brings the athletes back to the middle. Just tidying up the geese. Let's see if he remembers everything that he's got to. Yes, there's a penalty there for Yesil-Yurt for passivity. He gets them to stand up, and again, well, that's way out of the stance, the correct stance that they should have, and it's more pronounced as she's been allowed time after time to stand incorrectly. They're supposed to stand square on. This happened on this is the reverse angle. Sorry, okay. We're getting technical now. Reverse angle. Right, let's see how they stand up now, because Hedledi's really upset about this. Well, she's almost completely side on now. So that there is one side hidden from her opponent if he doesn't get them straightened up. And it does make a big difference, in particular because of the attack that Mutia has. .245 left on the clock. Well, the thing is, when she stands initially, she has the right stance, but when they grip up, she doesn't. Lost contact with the hands, you can call Mate there. It really is Mutia who is doing most of the attacking. Yeah. Right, they're back to the middle. Both athletes step forward to take their grips. Mutia's not that happy. It's too high up as well. Okay, that's a bit better. Just make sure the feet are right, and they were that time, and that was a much better attack. She does get countered, however. The first time that they actually stand correctly, she then gets countered. But there's plenty of time left on the clock, and Mutia was almost on the arm there. So lots of work now for Liana Mutia to do. She's down by Wazarian. For the first time, she's having to defend on the ground. She lies flat on her front with Yesil-Yurt attempting the turnover. Strong counter. It's not over yet. Mutia, a good thrower herself. Maybe needs something to the rear. Ooh, almost. And a chance on the ground here. Oh, just let it go. That really is across the face, that left hand of Mutia. Still working on the arm. Had to turn away and defend. It's a good little exchange. One of the best battles that there's been. A minute 43 left on the clock. Almost ready to get back underway. Kumikata being applied now. Minute 43 left to go. Just can't get the feet in the right place, Mutia. Shoulder goes in, but she's having to drag her opponent from a long way. And it's not working at the moment. Minute 20, still time left on the clock. If you can just defend here, she's on her front with, and that should be Mate there, lost contact. Minute 16 now. Athletes back up on their feet in the middle, tidying their gis up. Kumikata being taken now. And it's a better stance. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think it was deliberate at all, actually, from Yesil Yurt. The foot almost with that Marotti Seanagi from Mutia. Just mentioning that I don't think it was deliberate from Yesil Yurt. She just has a habit of standing that way. Wasn't deliberately trying to gain an advantage, although there was the perception that her position made it more difficult for Mutia to attack. 50 seconds left to go. Because without the referee correcting her, Yesil Yurt is now routinely standing in the correct position. So, and she hasn't been corrected, so I don't think it was deliberate first time round, or on the first couple of occasions. Yeah, and there she stood perfectly correct. 40-odd seconds left to go. Really big effort needed here from Liana Mutia. Again, not getting the rotation with the lower half of the body. It's a good top half. The shoulder goes in, but unfortunately, there's no real breaking of the balance. She's not in a position to drive her opponent over. 25 seconds left to go. Wazari still the lead for Yesil Yurt of Turkey as she tidies her gi up. The referee brings them back to the middle and asks them to Kumikata now. And now she has, yeah, and he does ask her to stand correctly. Yeah, it's not going to happen now. There isn't going to be enough time for Mutia to come back. Just has to defend against this shimiwaza. The referee calls Mate, but with only 3 seconds left to go. There really isn't enough time for Mutia to come and level the scores. A spirited effort from Liana Mutia of the United States of America, but she loses out to Dondu Yesil Yurt of Turkey. And it is Yesil Yurt who makes her way to the final. Mutia will have to battle it out in the bronze medal contest. He still could be on the podium, Mutia. we've got the next contest coming up. I'll speak to you in a moment.
Semi-final J2 women over 70 kilos. In blue judogi from France, Priscilla Leze. In white judogi from Italy, Carolina Costa. Tatami 3, next contest, semi-final. Category J1, women under 57 kilos. In blue judogi, representing Ukraine, Angela Laurisiuk. In white judogi, representing Italy, Asia Giordano. We have moved the score on Tatami 1. Tatami 2, the winner of the semi-final in white judogi from Italy, Carolina Costa. Costa goes to the final. Leze of France will compete for a bronze medal.
Right, sorry about that again. We're almost in the lucky position of being able to chat to some of the athletes and talk to them, but the temptation is so great, and unfortunately I've succumbed to the temptation and missed out on the Havrisiuk contest with Asia Giordano. She loses out. It's Havrisiuk who wins. It's a big Makikomi, and Giordano's on the receiving end of it, and then there's the Osaikomi to finish off. All right, so that will be the final. Havrisiuk of the Ukraine will face Yesil Yurt of Turkey. Let's fill in my sheets again. As I said to you before, I don't normally do this. Annette Burm is the queen of sheet filling. Neil Adams isn't too bad. He fills in a good sheet when he's ready. And of course, Loretta Cusactor, she's got nice handwriting. Mine looks as though a snail has crawled across the page with ink. So the J1 under 57 kilo category final will be Yesil Yurt, Dondu Yesil Yurt of Turkey up against Angela Havrisiuk of Ukraine. Marita lost out in her contest. Oh, we haven't had the repechage contest yet, have we? So we don't know who they're going to be. Right. John Vlamekers of the Netherlands is the referee, and he's about to bring or accompany the two athletes to the tatami. They bow, they make their way to the middle. Willens de Araújo of Brazil goes up against Romuald Rabuteur of France. He just gives them a little bit of space. They stand on the respective positions for Rei. They step forward, take kumikata, and then the referee will call hajime. Athletes are in Newaza with Rabuteur on his back. De Araújo looking to get past the legs. Rabuteur has trapped both his legs. As long as he keeps the legs trapped, he should be okay. He hasn't got the top half at all. And the referee recognizes that, calls mate, stands them up, and Romuald Rabuteur just have to be that little bit careful. It's a big fella that he's up against, head and shoulders taller than the Frenchman. Willens de Araújo, very tall athlete. Referee's called hajime. There's a little bit of maneuvering, moving left and right. Over to the right side now, left arm around the back from Rabuteur. Probably realizes just how big an athlete he's got on his hands. Nice effort though, and great ashiwaza. That is super ashiwaza from Romuald Rabuteur. Beautiful turn. A little diashibarai that brings his opponent down. It's so neat. And over goes the big fella. That was a great finish. So, Romuald Rabuteur bringing down the man mountain Willens de Araújo. And into the final he goes. Right, coming up next, the second semi-final in the plus 90 kilo category. J1, Jason Grandry of France goes up against Onur Tastan of Turkey. It'll be Grandry in the white judogi, Tastan in blue. What time is it? 1 o'clock already. That was quick. Still got a good bit of judo to go. 3 more after this one, I think. We did see Tastan in his quarter-final. He overcame Yerlan Utepov of Kazakhstan. We'll see Utepov in the bronze medal contest. He's going to face the Brazilian de Araújo. But the winner of this will face Rabuteur in the final, and the loser will go into the first of the bronze medal contests against Basok. Right, we're underway. Grandry in the white judogi, Tastan in blue. A little attempted right-sided Ashiwaza from Tastan. Just getting pulled around a little by Grandry. Referee calls Hajime, and we're back underway. Andre's threatening to go over on the right side, but they wander off the competition area. The referee calls Mate, and he's going to have to bring them back to the middle. Andri it was who was guilty of wandering off the area. Back in the middle now. The referee asks them to take kumikata. They do, nice and upright, and Hajime is called. Oh, and another beautiful piece of Ashiwaza there. That was terrific from Unur Tastan. Great feel. Well, actually, what are we going to go with? Hisaguruma, you think, Philip? Maybe not as high, yeah? Ashiguruma then. Yeah, it's not quite up there. I'm gonna go with Ashiguruma. A little faint there. He really flies. That was excellent. Highlights reel stuff there from Unur Tastan to give him a place in the final. And what a final that should be, because Rabateur is not backward with his Ashiwaza either, so that'll be a good one. Unur Tastan of Turkey is in that final. Right, so that is the plus 90 kilo category J1 sorted out. We've still got the under 57 kilo category to complete. We've got the 2 repechage contests to come, but before that we're going to squeeze in another contest in the J1 under 70 kilo category. We saw earlier on Nicolina Pernheim Goodrich of Sweden. She defeated Matilde Lauria of Italy. This time Pernheim Goodrich goes up against Brenda Souza de Freitas of Brazil. Pernheim Goodrich in the white judogi, Souza de Freitas in blue. We're underway. Do with being a little bit more upright. The Swedish fighter just bent over a little bit. Left-sided Haragoshi attempt from Souza de Freitas. Oh, Ippon quickly onto the Shimiwaza, was it? Pernheim Goodrich, wow. That really was a sharp piece of work. Right, coming up next, we've got a repechage contest in the under 57 kilo category. Priscilla Gagne of Canada will go up against Maria Manzanero of Spain. It'll be Gagne in the white judogi, Manzanero in blue. I'll be back in a moment.
Next one, the semi-final for men J1 under 90 kilograms. In blue from Brazil, Antonio da Silva. And in white from Italy, Valerio Romano Teodori. Coming here, for men J1 under 57 kilos. In blue from Spain, Maria Manzanero Ruiz. And in white from Canada, Priscilla Gagne. Vencedora do tapete 1 de azul do Brasil, Érica Zalaga.
Right, so I've only missed the first few seconds then. Okay, that's not too bad. Priscilla Gagne is going to have her hands full here. Manzanero is a good little battler. Who was it that Manzanero lost out to? Oh, it was Marita. Marita then lost out to Jesseljert. The winner of this will face Arcia Giordano of Italy. Tough day. I think we've got 2 more contests on mat 3 after this. Senegi attempt from Manzanero. Gagne steps off that, avoids getting caught, and it's the Canadian doing the Spaniard doing the chasing. Left-sided Uchimata effort from Gagne, and she catches Manzanero. So it's the Canadian who leads with 2 minutes and 20-odd seconds left on the clock. I've got a temptation of saying that's a good score. Well, any score is good, isn't it? It can't be a bad score. I'm going to have to stop saying that. That's a good score. 2 minutes left to go. Priscilla Gagne of Canada leads Manzanero of Spain. This for a place in the first of the bronze medal contests. The winner will face Asia Giordano of Italy. Referee calls Hajime. Little Ojigari from Manzanero, but Kenya steps off that. And the referee calls Mate again, brings them back to the middle. Tidy their geese up. Calls Hajime again. Ojigari from Manzanero, but she really doesn't reap the leg. Right leg just goes in, but not really doing a great deal. Chance to get past the legs on the ground now for Manzanero. Manzanero, Gagne defending. And Gagne applied the Kansetsu waza there, the reverse Kansetsu waza, was it? Let's have a look. Yes. Oshiro Udegatami. Right. Good win from Priscilla Gagne of Canada. Okay, it will be Gagne who will face Asia Giordano of Italy. Right, we've got another repechage contest coming up in the under 57 kilo category. Christina Mowat of Canada goes up against Ina Cherny of Moldova. It'll be Mowat in the white judogi, Cherny in blue. That'll be coming up in a moment from now. The referee in the middle for that one will be Elizabeth Gonzalez of Mexico. athletes are in the middle. Ray, Kumikata now. And we are underway. Athletes moving nicely, but not able to come up with an attack yet. Jenny with the grip around the back of Mowat. Now just bringing that little bit closer. Mowat trying to set something up. There's an Ojigari attempt from Cherney as they come towards the far side, the mat edge on the far side. Little Hisagaruma attempt from Mowat, but the referee calls mate. We come back to the middle. And it's Mowat. They both pick up passivity penalty, slightly harsh on the Moldovan, I think. We've got the restart now. We've had a minute. What needs to come up with some attacks here. Yeah, she was in a position and now goes over on her left side. Chance now for Ina Cherney to work on the ground. Missed the opportunity as Mowat rolls onto her front. But she hasn't quite given up yet, trapping the right shoulder of the Canadian, pushing her onto her back. And she's just got to be careful with the leg here. She can just free the leg. Top half is okay. Osaikomi has been called, and then the leg is trapped. So Tokito can work on the top half to tighten up first. Wouldn't worry too much about the leg as yet, because if you do get the leg out, then and you haven't secured the top half, you're going to lose it. Yeah, little Kosoto, I'm going to call it Gaki because she didn't sweep the leg, but there was a leg in the back there, the foot blocking. Just blocking, there was no sweep. The left leg was behind and it was over that leg that Mowat eventually fell. Not quite the typical hook that we see when we talk about Kosoto Gaki. But that will have to do. Minute 43 left to go as we get back underway. Cerny leading by Wazari. Oh, coming forward, looking for the Osodagari. Trying to set something up, dragging her opponent forward. She misses out on a little foot sweep and then ends up on her knees, but she gets back up very quickly, and there's no mate. We can continue. Tried the right-sided Haragoshi, missed out, and the counter by Ina Cerny gives her the contest. Wazari Awazeti Ippon. Yeah, that was good enough for a score. Seni of Moldova defeats Christina Mowat of Canada. The referee will escort both the fighters off the competition area, and then the two coaches will come and escort them back to the warm-up area. Right, I think we've just got the one contest left on this mat, haven't we? That is Matilde Lauria of Italy. She's going up against Brenda Souza de Freitas of Brazil. It'll be Lauria in the white judogi, Souza de Freitas in blue. John Ramakers of the Netherlands is the referee in the middle for this one.
Tatami 3, last contest on this tatami in the preliminaries. Category J1, women under 70 kilos.
Well, Pernheim is the winner of this category. We're going to see who's going to be runner-up. Lauria and Souza de Freitas have both lost out to Pernheim Goodrich, so one of these has to step up here. Well, that was a terrific Makikomi, Harai Makikomi from, well, maybe just Makikomi then. Didn't really see any, well, there was a little bit of Harai in there, wasn't there? A tiny bit. We'll give her the Harai as well. A tiny little lift of the leg, left leg. Brenda Souza de Freitas winning out over Matilda Lauria of Italy. That was all over too quickly for the Italians' liking, but, well, no doubt about the score there. Well, I think we're going to have most of the judo on mat 1, so we better go up there, hadn't we? And that's where we're going to be around for the longest. So I'm going to remove these 3 contest sheets that I've been filling out. Won't read those again until a little bit later on. And I'm going to pick up the contest sheet for the J1 70 kilo category, Garcia and Soaga. Let me have a look at that then. Yep, I've got that. Plus 70 kilo category. They'll be taking to the mat shortly. Right, so the contest that we're going to see now is, it should be Christine Garcia of the United States of America and Erica Soaga of Brazil. So we're just waiting for the arrival of Miss Garcia. There she is. Garcia in the white judogi, Soaga in blue.
J1 under 90 kilograms. In blue judogi representing Turkey, Gökhan Michel. In white judogi representing Hungary, Polish Robert.
Garcia almost coming up with a score there, right-sided. She's got some work to do to avoid getting caught on the ground now, Sohaga. Sorry, it's the other way around. It's Garcia who was attempting the turnover. So you're just tidying up her gi. Stepping forward now to take the kumikata, and the referee calls hajime. Left arm around the waist, chance for a hip technique here possibly. Couldn't come up with the attack. That was a good position from Garcia. Chance for the hip technique again. Or the hook around the back with the Kosotagaki. No, that didn't materialize either. Just hanging on to the belt for a little bit too long there. Back underway. Garcia wanted to go over on the right side for a makikomi, but the arms of Sohaga proved a little bit too strong and kept her out. They're on the ground now with Garcia attempting the turnover. Sohaga lying flat on her front. Garcia searching for a collar, thinking about the shimiwaza, but that didn't come off. 1 minute and 8 seconds left on the clock. Right, we're back underway. A good strong grip from Sohaga, threatening on the right side. Left arm around the back from Garcia, threatening Sohaga for a moment. She couldn't come up with an attack. Right-sided effort from Sohaga brings Garcia down, but again, Garcia is the one who ends up with a chance in on the ground. If she just rolls her opponent here, could be Kamishio Gatami. Soaga scored. She led by Wazari, but she's fallen into the Osaikomi. Garcia now, with just a few seconds left to hold her. She's got Wazari on the board now. And really unfortunate for Erika Tsuaga, having come up with the score, first of all, only then to fall into the Osaikomi. Well, that was most unfortunate for the Brazilian. Came up with the score within the last 20 seconds, I think it was, of the contest. Only then to fall into the Osaikomi. Kamishio Gatami from Garcia. Crystal Josette Garcia. And it's Garcia who wins out over Tsuaga. Right, coming up next in the J2 under 90 kilo category, I think this is. Sergio Junior. No, this is in the plus 90. Yeah, plus 90. Sorry about that. Sergio Junior and Christopher Skelly Junior in the white judogi, Skelly in blue. The referee's called Mate. Tomoyagi effort straight onto the arm, and Sergio Junior has to submit. Well, they want to have a look at the application of the technique. Right, so what you cannot do is to throw your opponent whilst applying an arm lock. So the throwing action has to be complete before the Kansetsu waza can be applied. So they've waved that off, and now but surely there should have been the Shido, yeah, and the Shido does go on the board. Okay, so the application of the Kansetsu waza came too early as far as they were concerned, and that's why Skelly has picked up a Shido. The whole of the throwing action has to be complete before Kansetsu waza can be applied. A little over 3 minutes left to go. Skelly with the single Shido against him. Without no doubt about that one. Throws beautifully with low right-sided Ippon Seoinage.
So,
Skelly winning out over Sergio Junior of Brazil. If I'm not mistaken, I saw out of the corner of my eye that Skelly had defeated Yerlan Konikiev of Kazakhstan earlier as well. Ian Johns just coming over to the referee to clarify exactly what it was that happened with the... that's not Ian Johns, it's someone else. Beg your pardon. I really apologise, I thought it was. Right, we've got 2 more contests left to go. This is in the J2. This is where they didn't like it. There's a point, I can tell you where it is. Right, here is the Tomoe-nage. And then the right arm is, the leg is going over here. It never really finishes. So that, apart from just popping the leg into the stomach, that's straight onto the arm. And it was too quick. Right. Janbota Amanzol, sorry. Janbota Amanzol of Kazakhstan is up against Evan Malloy of Great Britain. It's Amanzol in the white judogi, Malloy in blue. J2. The under 90 kilo category. Maki Komi, he never stopped, did he? That was the key there. Wrapped Malloy's arm up, and then in the push, kept on and on. And he goes again, almost came off the other side. Malloy's going to have to be careful here because Amanzol is not giving him a chance to settle. As soon as they grip up, as soon as the referee says Hajime, he's in. Got a dominant grip here. Malloy slightly bent over. Kosotagaki effort from Malloy. It was a good one. It just unsettled the Kazakh for a moment. But he's onto the arm very quickly. He's going to need a strong defense to keep him out here. Yeah, well done to Evan Malloy for avoiding get caught up with that. Just couldn't pull with the left arm. That was the problem. Stronger pull on the left arm may have brought Amanzol down, but he's a strong fella. So you need a bit of energy to bring that off. Goes left-sided, almost countered, but a good strong effort from Malloy. Seen some nice stuff from the British fighter. But it's the Kazakh who leads. Rambota Amanjol. A little under 3 minutes left to go, and he does look like a real handful. Not quite. It's okay, there's a little bit of a stretch of the arm. This was the I don't think he's deliberately gone against the arm there. That's just how they've ended up. That was a legitimate effort from Amanjol. They just got tied up at the end. That's a much better effort. Really, really good. And that's what he was attempting before. Got the leg in the right position, trapped him there, and then he had the pull this time to bring his man down for Uzari. Evan Malloy, really good technique there. Amanjol lucky to avoid going over for the full Ippon. Coming down onto his side and then onto his back. The scores are level with 2.5 minutes left to go. Left-sided Marote Seanagi. Amanjol deals with that fairly easily. Unruffled, the Kazakh there. This is a good battle, isn't it? Amanjol scoring first. Malloy coming back strongly after. Right-sided effort. Needs to get the head up here. Malloy. Yeah. That was a good effort. High quality stuff from this pair. Picked up a penalty for an overly defensive posture. It's a bit harsh, wasn't it? What happened here then? Onto his front, so no score, but another good effort. He's got some stuff about him, Evan Malloy. He's really threatening Amanjol, and every time he does, he gives him something else to think about, so not quite sure. Another good effort from Amanjol. One way and then the other. This is going. I'm not sure who's going to take this one, but it's not going to go without a big attack, that's for sure. Someone's going to go over. I want to have a look at the last action. Okay, we can have a look at it too, and then we'll see what it is that they may be trying to determine. It's Uzari a piece. Was there a head dive? So let's look at the Kazakh, onto the head. It's unfortunate. I mean, but the thing is, it's not even close, is it? It's just straight down onto the head. Yeah, that was a really tough one. Both fighters. I mean, I can't imagine who's the... Where are they in that one? I mean, well, he was the #1 seed, wasn't he, the Kazakh? and he lost out to Dimitru Solive. Well, he must be pretty good then, Dimitru Solive. If he beat Amanjol. Right, the second of the repechage contests in the under 90 kilo category, J2. It's Alexander Nazarenko of Ukraine is up against Galimzan Smagululi of Kazakhstan. Nazarenko in the white judogi, Smagululu in blue. Oh, Smagululi, sorry. Last of the contests in this first part of the day, because we've got the final block to come at 4 o'clock, and we'll be back with all the medal matches. And some really good medal matches to bring you. I should look forward to that. Again, some nice ashiwaza. We've seen quite a lot today. This time from Nazarenko of the Ukraine. Yes, now the Osai Komi. Kami Shiogatami from Alexander Nazarenko. Smagululi has not moved from there. Nice and tight from the Ukrainian. He can come back to his start position. Smagululi, unfortunately, not giving the best account of himself, losing out to Nazarenko. I mean, it's difficult to say, but you would be proud in any competition of that kind of execution. Philip's going to show us that one more time, because it's just so good. And the thing that you want to look out for is this is actually a reaction. Nazarenko is reacting to the initial movement from his Kazakh opponent, and just look how beautifully he does that. There's a little tap, and Smagululi finds himself slightly off balance, and Nazarenko takes full advantage of it. Right, we're going to be back at 4 o'clock. It's a little over 2 hours. We'll be back at 4 o'clock with all the medal matches on this, the second and final day of competition at the IBSA IJF Judo World Tour Grand Prix from Almada in Portugal. But from Philip and all the broadcast team, here myself, it's bye-bye for now.